This is Weekly Connection from Bliss, Oasis Ministries, brought to you by Patrick Ngugi, Religious Sciences Practitioner. This program comes to you every Sunday evening at 8 p.m. East African Time or 17 o'clock hours GMT. Please remember to like our Facebook page, Bliss Oasis Ministries, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And now, let's connect with Patrick Ngugi.
Hello and welcome to the first edition of Weekly Connection. Weekly Connection will be coming here to you every week on Sundays evening live. To be live on Facebook or this page, Bliss Oasis Ministries. And Bliss Oasis Ministry is a part of Bliss Oasis Africa, which is your company that gives you counseling service, life coaching, and other stuff. So already we do have another running program that's called the Light Touch, which I usually present together with my co-host, Wanjiro Modea. My name is Patrick Ngugi, and welcome. So this is the first episode of Weekly Connection. And in this Weekly Connection, we will be going through various authors, various spiritual, metaphysical authors who give us, more than what we or who brings light to what we may know on the surface. Because life is one great mystery, and since man became conscious, he has always tried to learn more about himself, why he's here, where he's heading from here, and so on. So we shall be starting in this episode, in this first series, we shall be looking at Wandea. Wandea was one of the greatest, great authors, and he inspired a lot of people. So Wandea came out with one of his, best selling books called Your Sacred Self, and that's what we'll be looking at from this first episode onwards, every evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Kenya time or 17 hours GMT. But then, Weekly Connection will not be just, a book review of sorts, but we are going to have a kind of service, metaphysical service, where we are not really, we may call it metaphysical, but we can also call it non-sectoral, non-religious service, where we combine or welcome all people, all believers, all of different faiths, and those who may not believe in a particular faith, but they know there's one power, one great power, one essence that is the origin of everything. And so we shall be having this every Sunday at 8 o'clock, so that we shall have, the book reviewing and also a bit of metaphysical knowledge, and also receiving your comments and question and answers, which we'll be sharing and discussing as we go along. So this Weekly Connection service, if we may call it service, it will come every Sunday at 8 o'clock Kenya time, that is 17 hours GMT. And so we welcome you to Bliss, or rather, we welcome you to Weekly Connection, which is under Bliss Oasis Ministries. And for those who may not know, we'd like to tell you that Bliss Oasis Ministry is a metaphysical arm of Bliss Oasis Africa. We are a non-religious but spiritual organization that professes one infinite, all-powerful, all-knowing, and ever-present spirit, also known as God, but known by different names by many different world religions and cultures. So our mission is to shed light and enable individuals to rediscover one spirit in whom we live, move, and have our being, the spirit whom we dwell in, and also who dwells in us simultaneously. And so we start today's program with an invocation. And his vocation is when we remember and remind ourselves that we need this one presence called God. And so we ask this to be together in this presence, to be aware of this presence, to be swarmed into this presence, and know that wisdom and power and knowledge and love guides us as we go through this time together, so that we can share and understand one another and how life takes us. And so it is. And so we shall always start with gratitude. Gratitude, because we do receive a lot of blessings, small blessings, big blessings, and sometimes we don't realize it. You remember the 10 people who are in the Bible who are cured by Jesus? Only one of them came back, the rest forgot. Most of the time we're like that. We are surrounded by a lot of blessings around, but we keep on complaining, wondering, like as if we don't have anything. But all we need to do is open our eyes and see what is next to us. And sometimes we may complain about life, but what are you using in complaining about that life? You're using breath, you're using your voice. You're using your voice to voice the complaint. Where did you get that voice? Where did you get that breath? From God. You should be thanking God that He gave that breath in order to praise and be happy and give gratitude, not to complain. So we always give gratitude. When we are giving gratitude, we are grateful for this time, we are grateful for the day, we are grateful for the week, and we are grateful for the blessings that are on the way, and that those are already here, and those who are always been here. And we thank God, we thank Spirit for this, and amen. And then as we go along, we shall be selecting some quotes to read and to share during this program. And today we are reading a quote from one of Ernest Holmes' writings. Ernest Holmes is the founder of Science of Mind, or Centers for Spiritual Living. And he came with this book called Science of Mind, which tells us that we are what we think, what we see, what we feel. That's what we are. And it's just more than that, because you already know. But let's just read what he says is one of his books. And so I read the quote: "We have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact in the outer. A power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and in a new life." That's Ernest Holmes. Let me just read it again. He says, "We have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact in the outer. A power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and in a new life." Ernest Holmes. He talks about this power within us. There's a power within us, inside of us, that is so great and is greater than anything that is out of us. Yeah. And this power within us can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and a new life. This power is here, is within us. And this reminds me of a famous saying that says that the kingdom of God is within. And I think Ernest Holmes is talking about the same. This power, this kingdom of God, is here with us, and it's powerful than anything outside there. So that's what I would look at it. But most of the time, we are always running out there, seeking stuff, rather than looking within and discovering this power. And by coincidence, that is what I say coincidence because I picked this quotation at a random, but it fits what Wayne is telling us in the book that we are going to go through. That is your sacred self, your sacred self, your holy self. This book, Your Sacred Self, will see that Wayne is telling us to look within, and there's more to life than what we actually see outside there. And so, just for introduction of the sacred self, which we shall be looking at as we go along, particularly next week when we start this live production, there is a story that he shares within the introduction of the book. And before I read briefly what the story says, I would like to say that some of us, or many of us, some of us, or rather, most of us, we are always asking, as we go through life, we are always asking, why am I here? Where am I heading to? And it comes a point when we feel there's something bigger than what we see. There's something lingering out there that is bigger and it has the answer to everything, and we keep on seeking it. Eventually, we come to discover this thing that we are looking for out there. I mean, wondering what created this, the whole scenario. We come to realize as we learn, as we grow, we come to realize there's something, there's this intelligence, this power that we call God. And a good number of us do believe that. But still, we do have others who don't believe, because they look around and see a lot of problems, a lot of hatred, a lot of killings, and so on. They say they can't be a God. I mean, if God is allowing so bad things to happen, maybe some misery or something you encountered in your life that was so bad, and you wonder whether God really exists. And some of them don't even have to go through the misfortunes. It's because but because they can't see, they feel they can't see, they don't see in creation, they don't see evidence of the creator. They feel what is here, and it came out by itself. And you can argue a whole lot with them, whether there's a God or not. And that's how one day I started his book, quoting, I think he quotes another author somewhere before. And he talks about this imaginary scenario of two babies, twins in their mother's womb. And these twin unborn babies in their mother's womb are talking or speaking about life after birth. The way we would think and wonder about life after death. And then some of us think there's life after death. Others say this is all you have. After death, nothing. So there was these two unborn babies, twins in the mother's womb, and they were discussing. One was called ego, and the other was called spirit. So spirit says to ego, I know you are going to find this difficult to accept, but I truly believe there is life after birth. Ego responds, don't be ridiculous. Look around you. This is all there is. Why must you always be thinking about something beyond this reality? Accept your lot in life and make yourself comfortable and forget about all this life after birth nonsense. Spirit quiets down for a while, but her inner voice won't allow her to remain silent any longer. So Spirit says to ego, 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 now don't get mad, but I have something else to say. I also believe that there is a mother. A mother? Ego go false. How can you be so absurd? You have never seen a mother? Why can't you accept that this is all there is? The idea of a mother is crazy. You are here alone with me. This is your reality. Now grab the hold of that cord. Go into your corner and stop being silly. Trust me, there's no mother. Spirit reluctantly stops her conversation with ego, but her restlessness soon gets better of her. And so she says, ego, she implores, please listen without rejecting my idea. Somehow I think that those constant pressures we both feel, those movements that make us so uncomfortable sometimes, that continual repositioning and all that of closing in that seems to be taking place as we keep on growing is getting us ready for a place of glowing light. And we will experience that, and we will experience it very soon. Ego replies, now I know you're absolutely insane. All you've ever known is darkness. You've never seen light. How can you ever contemplate such an idea? Those movements and pressures you feel are your reality. You are distinct, separate being. This is your journey. Darkness and pressure and close-in feeling are what life is all about. You will have to fight it as long as you live. Now grab your cord and please stay still. Spirit relaxes a while, but finally she cannot contain herself any longer. Ego, I have one more thing to say, and I'll never bother you again. Go ahead, Ego responds impatiently. I believe that all this pressure and all this discomfort is not only going to bring us into a new celestial light, but when we experience it, we shall going to meet Mother face to face and know an ecstasy that beyond anything and that we have ever experienced up until now. You are crazy, Spirit, and now I'm truly convinced of it, says Ego. So there you are. That is just an metaphoric story of our life. There are those of us who feel that all we see is all it is. But there are those of us who know that there's life beyond this. And the pressures of life, the movement, the shakers, and so on, are just keeping us ready, keep giving us the experience to eventually meet our mother, our maker, and so on. And I thought that's a very interesting introduction because many of us, as we said earlier, are there just to experience this. What they see is all they have, but there's nothing beyond that. But as we learn in Sacred Self, and as we shall see, as we go along, we have been looking in the wrong direction. And that will be the first chapter of the book by Wayne Dyer, that since we were born, since we became aware of this reality, we have always been looking in the wrong direction, running in the wrong direction, because we've always been running out there, seeking things out there, but never looking within where all the answers are found. But that will be what will be the topic of each chapter as we continue going. But after reading what we have just read, what we've gone through, the book, as the author says, it tries to tell us about 4 issues, 4 points. One, that you are sacred. You know, you are sacred. I'm sacred. I'm holy. And in order to know that, you must transcend the old belief system that you have adopted. There are so many belief systems that we have always carried away with us as a baggage. And in order to know and understand and realize that you are sacred, I'm a sacred person, I need to get rid of a lot of baggage, and we are going to go through them as we continue. Second thing that the book is trying to tell us is that you are a divine being called to know your sacred self by mastering the keys to higher awareness. You are not just a body, you are more than a body. Yeah, you are more than your body. You are more than your name. You are more than your title. There's something divine about you, and we're going to learn more about it as we go. Number 3, your sacred self can triumph over your ego, identities, and be dominant force in your life. You can triumph over what ego tries to tell you who you are or who you are not, and reach your dominant your life, what you are supposed to be, what you came here to be, because that has been clouded, overshadowed by the ego. Number 4, you can radiate this awareness beyond your own boundaries and affect everyone on this planet. So those are just 4 points that he highlights about the book, and which we shall continue looking at as we continue with this in this weekly connection program. So basically, this was a more or less an introductory meeting, the program for this weekly connection. And remember, we shall be together again. This time, hopefully, we'll be doing it live on Sunday evening at 8 o'clock. Come to this page, Bliss Oasis Ministries, and we share together this book as we go along and understand more about what Wayne tells us about ourselves, our sacred self. And also, as we go along, we will be taking questions. You can put them in the chat, or since this episode will be shared on YouTube, you can also put on the comments on Facebook and so on, so that we can be looking at them and answering them as we go along. Yeah, and finally, Bliss Oasis Ministries, or Bliss to Africa. We give counseling, life coaching, prayer and spiritual mind treatment. And this can be done physically or online. Please contact us in the number given here if you may need more details. And so that is the end for this first episode, which is more of introductory, although we have touched a bit about the book. But remember to join us next week, next Sunday on live. Next Sunday, when I say next Sunday, I mean that will be the 2nd, the 4th, the 3rd of September at 8 o'clock. We meet here so that we can continue with the program and also the second part of this show. So we end with blessings, everyone. For wherever you go, whatever you do, be successful, and also with gratitude. And therefore, until next week, when we meet again here on this show, let's keep it here, and God bless.